Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject som kere konsolbabba konsolferino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, happy Sunday. Ho, ho, ho. Almost Merry Christmas. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to Wanna Bet. I'm Jason. That's Ben. This is Wanna Bet, a show about betting and a little bit about dogs. And not just underdogs, real life dogs. Lot to get to today. Obviously, the NFL winding down. We've got some Bundesliga. We're going to jump on here in a second because the match kicks off in about 20 minutes. Interesting games this weekend. We've got, look, if you're new to the show, you're going to get all our favorite plays. You can see the rundown. First, second, third down, 3 favorite plays since yesterday's show. There's always a yesterday show. We do this 7 days a week. We'll be doing it Christmas morning. Fourth and long, could be fourth and short. Quick hitters, get you paid quickly in a game. Or long reception, longest rush. Futures bets that get you paid in a long time. Long shot bets, overtime. Football and football parlays every effing day during soccer and football season. And unlike the mook bastards and swindlers, we show our works and keeps it real. Santa Clara, that sucked. Loyola showed up for the first time all year in a big way. Look, the Premiership, we should have been up 10 units yesterday in the Premiership. Bournemouth absolutely destroys Burnley for 89 minutes. Burnley doesn't even pretend that they want to have the ball in the attacking third, let alone put a ball on frame. Should our cherries have scored more than once? Absolutely. Absolutely. And they give up a goal off a corner in the 89th minute, and it kills our parlay. It kills some other stuff we had cooking. Semenyo, he got us the goal. It just, we were all over Premiership yesterday, and we had a lot tied to that Bournemouth money line. And I'm sorry that didn't come through for us. That could have been a great day. And Beltway, Ben, look, we did a lot of work in futures markets in the spring and summer, and I love Green Bay to win the division at a really good payoff, and I love the Rams to win the division at a really good payoff. And they both found ways to lose games, thanks in large part to special teams, that they absolutely should not have lost. They were the better teams. They're both the best team in their division. Obviously, the injuries last night were tough. I mean, how about Jacobs getting like 1 or 2 for the F of it carries in the second half just to kill any fair play? Like that was great. When it was clear he wasn't right. And then obviously Love goes down, and the Bears have a horseshoe up their ass. And for the Rams and the Packers to lose the way they did in prime time the last 2 nights with what I have on them in the futures markets, it's I know we're up and we're doing great on this show, but in real life, that's a kick to the nuts.
Yeah, that was. I don't really know what to say. Just had got back watching the ending. As soon as they don't recover the onside kick, you know what the outcome was. I mean, you know what the finish of that would be. So that really sucked. Jordan Love plays that game. Maybe they're able to finish it, but it happened. It was an ugly finish. They couldn't hold on. And then the fumbled snap on for like I don't even. It was just ugly. No way about it. Rounded. We had actually profitable. I know here it's 2 reds and 1 green, but we actually finished up about 12 cents. We cashed very nicely on that Miami win early in the day against A&M. We parlayed them alongside Ole Miss. Those cashed for us to get us a plus 150. We tailed you on the Goddard anytime touchdown. That was a great call. Smitty was under. If that game's a little closer, he probably goes over. He caught like the first 4 passes.
He's fed in the first half, man.
I mean, Jeez. Really. And then if he catches that touchdown, he goes over.
Yeah.
The one that he catches 9 times out of 10. So unfortunate we lost him. Oakland's team total. Michigan State struggled defensively early. They turned it on in the second half, and then Oakland drills 3 threes in the final 2 minutes and 30 seconds to screw us, which it happened. So it ultimately was a little bit of a profitable day thanks to some futures that we had early in the week.
Yeah, and look, check us out on the socials. we had Dominic Calvert-Lewin as part of the 4-leg anytime goal parlay. That was screwed as soon as Cole Palmer didn't score, and Santos, who came in for him, didn't score in the Chelsea match. But we loved that matchup against Palace. Thought there'd be goals there. And, that at plus 222 was a nice hit as well. He scored twice, could have had the hat trick, had a brace in the first half. That Palace leads, we hit everything in the first 60 minutes of that game. Love when that happens. All right, speaking of the footy, let's get on the Bavarian Giants, Bayern Munich, in die Bundesliga. Beltway Ben, they take a nice hiatus in Germany for the winter break. And we think Bayern on the other side of this is going to be in great shape. They get back one of their best midfielders. They get back do-everything Canadian international Alphonso Davies, who can be an outside wingback. He could be more like a straight-up winger, just an athletic demon. The cavalry's coming for Bayern, and they've been dropping points and conceding goals against shite teams lately. They play Heidenheim, who is arguably the worst team in the Bundesliga. I believe Company will have them ready to go. We're laying 2 on the Asian market. So a 2-goal victory for Bayern pushes. Again, every time, make sure you're not in just the regular alts. Make sure you're in the Asian market. You can't parlay this with anything else. If you're parlaying this with something else, you're either going to lose on the -2 or you're in the wrong category. They're not going to let you SGP this if you're in the Asian. It'll say. Okay. Look, it's Bayern before the break, coming off some lackluster performances. They're 5-1-0 at home. Home games are averaging over 4 goals a game, 20 goals scored, just 5 allowed. Harry Kane probably goes off at -225. I'm not messing with it. There's so many different guys who could score for Bayern in this match today. I like them on the road here and not at the Alliance Arena. I think they'll play a little bit more direct. I mean, hell, Kane probably has a brace here. I'm not on it. It'll probably hit. Harry Kane to score more than 1 goal, I think is probably, if you made me do something in the markets for anytime goal scorer, I would go there. I just look for them to do the job here. This frankly could be a 4-0, 5-0 type spot. It would not surprise me at all. And I'll do this real quick because we like to read emails here. So, I love the kid Leonard Cole, the 17-year-old midfielder for Bayern, who I would love to be able to bet on, and I can't. So I'm messing around on Bet365 yesterday, and there's a tab. If you don't see an anytime goal scorer here, click to contact us. So I shoot him an email. I'm like, hey, I'd love to be able to bet on Leonard Cole. Anytime goal. This is the response from Bet365. Hi, Jason. Following a review of your price request, we are unfortunately unable to offer a price on Leonard Cole on our Maryland website as he is under 18 years of age. Please be advised that this is a trading decision. Please accept my apologies for any inconvenience that this may cause. Kind regards, Paul F., the Bet365 team. Happy holidays, Paul F. So being the degen that I am, I looked up Leonard Cole's birthday. I think it's February 22nd. Leonard Cole will turn 18. You know we're all over that. Whatever their first match is after his birthday, Leonard Cole, anytime goal scorer, maybe to score a brace.
Will he play in the World Cup?
I hope. I sent you that article, didn't I? I started talking about it, and then there's some articles like, hey, if he gets a run with Bayern in the spring on the other side of the winter break, should he? Germany was not very convincing in qualifying, so I hope so. I mean, he'd be off the bench, super sub. You need a late goal kind of thing. But I love watching the kid play. He's dynamic. Look, it wouldn't shock me if he scored twice today. You can't bet on it in Maryland. Maybe in your state you could bet on 17-year-olds. I don't know. But I did tell you when I couldn't find it anywhere, I'm like, remember we were talking about, I'm like, maybe it's because he's not 18 yet. But then I'm like, can you bet on Olympics? Like, can you bet on Olympics gymnastics? Right. And they're like 15 years old. I mean, I don't know if you can. I've never tried to bet gymnastics. I have been to gymnastics meets. Dude, what those gals and guys can do, but at Towson, it's all gals where we go. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. During the Olympics,
plus 160 spot. If you're apple bottoms in it today, you're playing with fire.
Yeah,
And actually, you're screwed. This game's going to kick off before they hear it. So
Yes,
Apple Bottoms, shame on you. Watch us on the Twitter. Watch us on the YouTube. Wannabetwithus.com. You can get it all there.
Absolutely. We got 2 plays, and we have a lot of plays that we like today, so I just combined a lot of things in each down and overtime, as I usually do on NFL Sunday. So we're going to play two things in this game. We'll start with Bucky Irving over 63.5 rushing yards at -112. Big time divisional matchup here. The winner of this probably wins the division. The Panthers have just not been good against the run of late. 52.2% success rate against the run since week 8, second worst in the NFL. They're bottom 6 in EPA against the run in that time frame. Now, this was a team who, through the first few weeks of the season, we saw this. They were bad against the run. They fixed it somewhat in the middle. They were able to hold off a little bit. Now, some of that can be who you're playing, a team that might be a little bit more pass heavy, all those things. All of a sudden, they're struggling against the run again. And I think in this matchup here, I know the wide receiver spot, and I am also on Mike Evans with you. We did tail that one, the first Mike Evans play, but I think we might see a heavy load of Bucky Irving as well. I mean, when you look at what he's done since he's come back, 17, 15, and 16, and all of those have been right around 60 to 61 yards. We're going to need 3 more against a struggling run defense, and this is his 4th game back since returning from injury. I just think it's a really good spot for Bucky to come alive. Maybe does have one of those 80-plus rushing games. We just get it at 63.5, and again, this is a number that he's been right around regularly since returning from injury. Now, the other play in this one, Tet McMillan over 56.5 receiving yards at -110. Was banged up coming into this game, dealing with an injury, but he's probable. The injury report probably came out 4 minutes ago. He's going to play. I have no concern with if he'll be on the field. He's a dog. The one area of concern is what is going on. Like, why is, if he is what he is and you drafted him to be that, why are there not more design targets his way? I don't get it. It seems like they just don't go his way enough. I do think today against the Bucs passing defense that has shot straight down as the year's gone on and have been really bad of late, bottom 8 in the NFL against wide receivers, opposing wide receivers yards. I think this is a strong Tet McMillan game. He's been under this in a bunch of games in a row. 2 of his last 5, I think, are the only 2 that he's gone over of late. But this is a spot where it must win, a struggling passing defense. You have to think Bryce Young's going to go to the guy that they drafted as high as they did for matchups like this to win the division, to be that true X, that wide receiver 1. And I think today we see it from Tet. So give me McMillan over 56.5 receiving yards at -110.
Love it. Second down, we are going back to a well that we fished in quite profitably a week ago. We're not getting the same value here as we got a week ago, but we still like it. Dak Prescott under 1.5 passing touchdowns plus 115. That's an underdog who I don't do a lot of business with, but I did on this one. Look, he got shut down by Minnesota last week. San Diego. The Chargers have an elite pass defense. It actually is statistically very similar to Houston. And people don't go around betting 2 or more passing touchdowns against Houston very often. You want to know how many times this season, Beltway Ben, the Chargers have allowed 2 or more passing touchdowns in a game? How many times? I'm going to give you a hint. It's not 0.
I was going to say, I wasn't going 0.
And you know what? It's not 3. How many games this season do you think the Chargers have allowed 2 or more passing touchdowns in the same game?
3 and C are like, when you're doing a multiple choice and it's like, I don't know what the answer is. Let me just guess.
It's either B or C. It's not A, 0. It's not D, 3. So it's either B or C.
4 or 2.
No, it's 2.
2. I was going to say 2.
Tell you it was between 0 and 3.
But the way that you line them up, I thought it would be a little higher, right? 0, 3.
No, I was trying to give you like 0, 1, 2, 3. I was trying to take out the high and the low.
That's on me.
2. The answer is 2.
I was going to guess 2 first before the last
That's pretty good. 12 passing touchdowns to 17 interceptions allowed this year. Opposer passer rating of 71.3. 60% completions. Just 6.3 yards per attempt. I love this before the Cowboys got eliminated. Now that they're eliminated, I think Jesse Minter's defense is even more stuck in. Pickens has kind of gone off the reservation again. The Chargers have everything to play for. The Chargers are a dominant defense. Dallas is not doing at home what it used to do. I also think the Chargers can shorten this game and hold the ball and run the ball and bleed the clock and do all the things that Harbaugh does. So yeah, I just don't really buy Dallas against good defenses, and this is a great passing defense. And if you want to try to run the ball on them for touchdowns, go ahead. But for plus money again here, it kind of reminds me of that matchup with Minnesota last week. So we're on the under.
Second down, I will go to one of my rare heavy plays. We're going to play Lad McConkey over 46.5 receiving yards. I am putting Kona along with Gigi here.
So this, what does that mean? Is that 3 units?
No. This is two. I'm just
okay.
showing both.
That's how we're going to do it.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I just
Kona
thicker.
goes with Gigi.
Yes, and then I will have a half unit play in just a second. Lilo goes with Choppy.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, now I know how to do that. That's perfect.
That's a 2 unit play to win 2 units. So we're risking 2.2 here for Lab McConkey. And then, as I just said, we will get to Choppy and Lilo in a second. Half a unit.
That's a
on
winning
Lad
combination
McConkey,
right there.
80 plus. It is very awesome. Very, very awesome. But I really do
Meaty
like Lab
stands
McConkey.
alone. The meat man stands alone.
Yes,
which is fair. I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yes, meat man absolutely stands alone. When you look at this, the Dallas passing defense is just not good. Quiet for a few weeks for Lab McConkey. He's under in 4 straight, but he was over this in 5 straight before that. It was regular that he was going there. And he had multiple 100-plus yard games. We know that connection that Justin Herbert and McConkey have been in certain spots over the last 2 years. Now, one area of concern this year, it's gone down. Last year, 60-plus receiving yards, check it off. Every single week, Herbert was finding him that much. Now, you bring Keenan Allen back. That's changed some things. Quentin Johnson continues to take steps forward. But when you look at the Dallas pass defense, as I mentioned before, wide receivers are putting up 170-plus receiving yards against them a game since week 8. That's bottom 5 in the NFL. And let's look at some other wide receivers that line up in the slot similar to Ladd and how they've done. Naylor last week had 3 for 47. And that's a guy that he's like the third option in that wide receiver core. So he still had 3 for 47. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6 for 92. Rashee Rice, 8 for 92. We attacked him on Thanksgiving, gave that one out. Smitty, 6 for 89. The Cowboys' run defense has been legit since the deadline. We've talked about it. They can take the run away. And if that's the case in this matchup for the Chargers, we're going to have to see Herbie throwing the football around, getting guys involved. And Keenan Allen, he does scare me a little bit just because he gets target share. When Herbert came to the league, we know they work together. But in this spot, I think the quick slot receiver will dominate Dallas, especially just with how things have gone. And with the way Dallas plays, I know Jason just mentioned how good they are. The Chargers are defensively against the quarterback. But, I think Herbie's going to have to step it up with him throwing the football. You like Herbie? Do you like the nickname Herbie?
Well, I'm just thinking if Herbie and Smitty were ever on the same team, we could have a lot of fun with that. Herbie, Smitty, Herbie parlay, the Herbie Smitty parlay. It just got, Smitty, you mentioned Smitty and Herbie there together, and it just got my head.
It's great.
Could you hear
I can see
or
it.
see? You can see the wheel spinning. When you said Herbie, you could see my eyes ooh.
Yeah, no,
I'm thinking, what about one stick and half of the head is Herbie and half the head Smitty?
Yes, I like that a lot. It is
when our logos line up today, they're nowhere close.
No, not even a little bit.
That's not even. I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent.
It's probably
that's interesting. McConkey's had a quiet season, but I could see him getting off today. Halftime. I just want to get in I just get in the habit of saying it. It doesn't really matter for this one, but halftime. I'm on the 9 card today. Am I crazy? I like Niner. I like Niner on the road in Secaucus or whatever, Meadowlands, East Rutherford. It's basically suburban Secaucus. Give me McCarthy to throw 2 or more passing touchdowns in this game, plus 108. And let's have one of them. I didn't parlay these together, but I wouldn't be mad at you if you did. And have one of them go in JJ's way. Dynamite, Justin Jefferson. Plus 145 for him to score. I know it's been a lost season for him, but the targets have started to pick up. We saw the tight end get fed the last couple of weeks. JJ's had chances in the red zone. What's more important to the Minnesota Vikings right now as an organization than getting this quarterback aligned with their number 1 wide receiver? Can you think of anything in this month that they could accomplish as an organization from Kevin O'Connell? Right? This month. I'm not talking about free agency. I'm not talking about working on number 9's footwork in the offseason. I'm talking about in the here and now. What's more important to that whole organization than getting this wide receiver bought in with the quarterback who they're stuck with, who's looked pretty damn good the last 2 weeks. Anything, by the way, man?
No, I agree. I agree with you.
What is Kevin O'Connell focused on other than, more than that? A former quarterback, a great designer, schemer, play caller. At plus 145, this guy is a top 5 wide receiver in this league. Now, early in the week, because the weather people, they go for ratings. So everywhere is going to be it's going to be a monsoon. It's going to be a storm. Weather forecast looks pretty good in the Meadowlands. And the Niner, he's got a freaking rocket. The problem is he doesn't put any air under it. But even if it was going to be really windy and rainy, I'm like, the 9 car, he can throw it through what did Greg Roman say that time? He can throw a pea through a submarine or something like that.
I don't remember
he used
that.
To play the clip on the radio. Oh yeah,
that was before I got there.
He could slingshot a pea through a battleship. Anywho, the kid's got 5 passing touchdowns his last 2 games. O'Connell has to prop him up. The Giants' defense sucks. The Giants suck. The Giants' season's been over forever. They're playing for a draft pick. They've allowed 24 passing touchdowns. They've allowed 2 or more passing touchdowns in 6 of the last 8 games. And, I'm old enough to remember when Justin Jefferson, when this was minus 250 because he was doing it every week. So, there we are.
Don't hate it. I'm going to stay in that game here. I'm going to play something a little different. We're going to play the Minnesota Vikings team rushing yards over. Let me pull it. There we go. I had your name on it. But we're going to play Minnesota Vikings team rushing yards over 132.5 at minus 120. And we'll also play Aaron Jones fantasy score over 11.5 minus 110. Again, this is also at DraftKings. It's ruled by their book, or their fantasy, DFS, all of those good things. That's how they do it. Since week 8, I talk about this a lot. That's usually the time frame I go. The Giants have a 51.4% success rate against the run. That's last. Dead last in defensive rush EPA. We see explosives. We see a lot of big-time scoring plays in the run game. Jason, what do I always say when I talk about these time frames? If a team is struggling in a certain time frame and you can track it back to the beginning of the year too, it's usually a really, really good spot to attack. It's just what it is, and nothing will change. Nothing has changed for them all year. The thing that I love about this play, Aaron Jones is going to get some carries. Jordan Mason's going to get some carries, and McCarthy. This is for the team rushing. And J.J. McCarthy's going to use his legs a little bit. McCarthy, 10-plus rushing yards in 7 of his 8 starts this year, and in 3 of those, he had 20-plus. Now, let's look at what quarterbacks have done against his defense. Mariota last week had 40. Caleb Williams 3 weeks ago had 63. Love and Willis combined for 25. I think Jones is going to get more carries in this game. I think it'll be anywhere from 11 to 15. And one of these backs can get 100. I'm banking on it to be Aaron Jones. But the reason that I added his fantasy scoring, this team is not good against the pass either. And they very, very much struggle against running backs in that area. Bottom 8 in opposing running back wide receiver or receiving yards. And that's been a regular thing as well this year. And it's really ticked up over the last few weeks. Aaron Jones is a pass catching back, but they still do like to give him some carries on the ground. We know the explosives that he's had in him through his career, playing in that division, even when he was in Green Bay, now being in Minnesota. I think we'll see him find himself in the end zone, whether it's a catch or a rush at some point. And if we get that, he will go over the fantasy score because there should be 3 to 4 catches for him as well. He is the pass catching back. Jordan Mason is not on the field for many pass catching downs. They'll stuff it in his chest and try to let him power his way downfield. And the rest is going to be Aaron Jones trying to make plays. And Jason talked about it earlier. This is a quarterback they're trying to build confidence with. They want to see what they have moving into next year. If it really is going to be time to move on from him, I don't think that they're going to think that. I think they want to build his confidence and let him get some easy throws. You got to get your wide receiver 1 in Jefferson involved. And you also have to get one of the better pass-catching running backs in the NFL involved. Aaron Jones, over 11.5 fantasy score. And then again, we're also going to play over 132.5 team rushing yards, which is a market that we went to a bunch.
I meant to bring this up with you off air. I knew I'd been forgetting to talk to you about something. I wonder if next year we do the football show Saturday night, which gives us time to pump it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All Sunday. Because I'm going to be still doing that show from 8 to 11 next year, it sounds like. You know what I mean? I think that might not be the worst. Even if it's early, even if we do it at 6 o'clock, of course, we're going to dinner with our, you know what I mean? Or
if
you got plans with Maddie.
Right.
I kind of feel like that might be the way to go.
As long as we have enough props, yeah. And then we also could just push to Twitter.
Yeah.
If a play hasn't populated, just check our Twitter. We're going to post it then. Don't hate that.
Might be the way to go. I'll have to remember that. Fourth down. All right. These are all kind of correlated. I'm not going to belabor the point here because a lot of the recent numbers wouldn't support what I'm playing, but I think the recent numbers are not emblematic of this player in his career. Lamar Jackson, long rush over 12.5 yards, minus 122. It's December. It's a do-or-die game. It's prime time at home. This guy's never lost a regular season game from week 15 on, and his rushing numbers skew heavily late in the season. He's been hurt most of this year. He looked more spry, more agile, more explosive than he has since September against the Bengals. And the good news is he only dropped back 12 times because Joe Burrow didn't feel like playing football that day. It was bad for our wallets. But maybe we rebound here because Lamar did this last week and barely even had to do anything inside or outside the pocket. So now he's fresh again. No new injuries this week, just some sort of illness or whatever. I think he's got at least one explosive run in him tonight. You're going to have to worry about Keaton Mitchell in the run game. Ali has done things in the screen game, and Derrick Henry's still there. So if I think he's going to tear one off for at least 15, then I also like Lamar Jackson over 31.5, minus 118 for the game at MGM. A lot of places have this at 33.5 or above. MGM, as of when I got off the air with them a half hour ago, still had this 31.5, minus 118. He averages, again, prime time for his career, he averages over 50 rushing yards. Like, month of December, must-win games, he's over 40 all the time. I think he goes over 40 tonight against the defense that doesn't have unbelievable athletes at the edge. They don't have dudes who can chase him down from behind. And they're also a little beat up at linebacker, and they're beat up without their best defensive lineman. So I think Lamar has a chance to run the ball robustly tonight. And then Drake May, 30 or more rushing yards, plus 178. This was at FanDuel. I mean, look, I'm old enough to remember C.J. Stroud having a 30-yard run against the Ravens. Number 9, the Niner, he had a 26-yard run against them, and he ran 5 times for 50 yards. Caleb didn't run against them at all. I was shocked, but he did have 1 for 22. Josh Allen hit 30 on them. This is it. This is uncharted territory for the Patriots. It's a big game. They need to get back on the good foot. And this kid ran for 40 yards in the first half against Buffalo just a week ago. Baltimore's defense has only given up 16 points a game since week 6. They've made it more tough sledding. They're selling out to take away explosives. But this kid's legs are something that you can't really account for. And I've seen lesser quarterbacks tear off nice runs against them. Tyrod Taylor, this number for this value, this number's too low for me. He's another one. Do I have a ladder with him? I do. I think he could go for 40. I think he could go for 50. I think he probably tears one off 20 yards or more. They're going to live or die with his arms and his legs. And he doesn't have, Stephon Diggs is a good player. He's not winning for you by himself. Henry's not winning for, Boutte. If you let him get behind you, he'll catch something. But, these are not game breakers. The game breaker is the quarterback. And I can't imagine that Josh McDaniels doesn't lean into his legs in a robust way with a lot of mesh point stuff. And I think he's going to be a problem on the ground.
The robust gets me. Anybody who listens to
robust.
That's what always makes me laugh.
Inside joke.
Yes.
Robust.
First off, I want to ask. You usually give me a question. Can you guess why we're doing this for 4th and long? Do you have any thought here?
Let's see. Evan Ingram over 25.5 receiving yards, minus 112. Why would we? Because it's been a long time since it hit, but that's not true.
Oh, well, no, he cashed 3 weeks ago. It's been a long damn time since we've played him.
Since you played Evan Ingram. It's been so long I can't remember. Did he get written in my book here?
I think he cashed the last time we played him. I think his future just screwed us. Because that was one of our 2-unit futures.
Miami's in here from December 16th in my
and guess who pulled it off for us?
And they pulled it off, yeah.
They did.
They came back from the dead.
That was a crazy
Evan
game.
Ingram, yeah, he used to be prominent on this show.
Yes, I was super high on him coming in. I thought that Joker type of guy would eat in this offense. Oh no, Bo Nix likes going to other guys. And it's not a knock to Bo Nix. He's had success doing it. It's just Evan Ingram has had brick hands this year. I mean, let's call it what it is. There's been a lot of games where he's open. Bo Nix hits him and it goes right through the wickets. But here we're going to play Evan Ingram over 25.5 receiving yards at -112. Look at what the Jags have done against tight ends over the last 8 weeks. It's been big time struggles except for like one game. Evan Ingram's over this in 2 of his last 5. And he did have a 79-yard receiving game just a few games ago. It was 4 games ago when he was able to do that.
Game.
Yeah, he ate in a big way. We haven't really seen that with him. That's what I thought would be multiple weeks this year, and we haven't seen that. Would not surprise me if we get it here. I talked about it before. Like, when it gets colder, guys start to rely on their tight ends a little bit more. And if he could just catch the football, it would be a very good spot because he's fast. He can make guys miss, and that's the most important thing when you need to cash the receiving yards prop. Catch the damn ball. I think there's going to be a lot of targets his way tonight, 4 to 5, and if that's the case, he should have 2 or 3 catches, and we know the ability after the catch, when they do get him some open space. Give me Evan Ingram over 25.5 receiving yards at -112, and now the other longest, 4th and long play, Kinshawn Judkins, longest rush over 13.5 yards, -114. Last night, and I do it a lot, throughout the week, we'll be on a lot of plays, and we'll see how the lines populate and do things. And then the night before, I kind of jump more into it. Last night, I felt really good about giving out Judkins. This morning, I wake up and see all of the world is playing his longest rush. And I never love that. I don't like being with everybody. I just kind of, it's where I am. But I decided to stick with it. When you look at the Bills, they have fixed things a little bit against the run, right, in terms of success rate, but the bottom EPA is still there. They're bottom 2 in EPA for a while. It's because they like to stack the box because their run defense sucks, and they'll get some stops behind the line of scrimmage occasionally, but they'll also give up the heavy-hitting run of 30+. It's all the time with them. They suck tackling. You have safeties back there who really, when they do shoot up and make a big play, we hear all about it, but we don't see the times where they're on the ground diving, missing guys, and that's weekly for them. Judkins is a guy that hasn't been able to go over this a lot this year. He hasn't been more the explosive. He's fast, but he's a little bit more of a heavy back, but he's not that big. I do think in this spot, with the way that they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage, and again, I talk about it, I've been a little wrong with him the past few weeks because I think make Shador's job easier and let your running back you just drafted and threw him out there early on after all the off-the-field stuff. Let him take some stuff off Shador's plate. Hasn't been the case as much, but some of that is because they've been playing from behind from the kickoff. Could that happen here against Buffalo? Absolutely, but I think in the first 3 drives or 4 drives, we could see one explosive from Judkins and get him to go over 13.5 yards, which again, he hasn't done a lot, but it's for RB1. This should not be too much to ask for against a defense that allows it regularly. So give me Judkins, longest rush over 13.5 yards, -114.
Love it. Overtime, I got a few plays here, mostly NFL, but one NBA. Let's start with a little 2-leg parlay. Chargers on the money line. And let's take the total in Arizona, Atlanta down to 46.5. I got this at plus 254 at Bet Rivers. Money started coming in on the Chargers today, and this thing, the line has moved. Did I say the wrong number? Did I say 257? Or did I say 254? It's 254. I looked at your face. It looked like you made the face.
No. I think you said it right.
Anywho, look, I think Chargers are the better team. Chargers defense is the best unit in that game. Dallas has not covered at home since the start of last year, and the Chargers are an elite covering team on the road. They've been getting upwards of 2 points most of the week. I know that's starting to change. I like them to win this game. I think they will be able to dictate tempo and pace. I think they will turn the Cowboys over a time or two. Chargers have a lot to play for here, and this is Harbaugh's time of the year. And then the over in Arizona, Atlanta, like both defenses suck, and Cousins is playing for his career, and we're all over Jacoby Brissett. Like Arizona's allowed 27 or more in 7 of their last 9. They've allowed 85 points the last 2 weeks. If they keep Jonathan Gannon, the Bidwells are bigger, feckless losers than I even thought they were, and I think they're some of the most feckless losers on the planet. They make me sick. I couldn't imagine having to support a team that those billionaire bastards run. Like, God, do they make me sick. Nepo babies off of parents who didn't do anything. Like, God. Ugh. Ugh. Keep them. You should keep them. Keep them. Like you extended Kyler. Gannon, defensive guru. Okay. And then, look, I do like Raheem Morris a lot, but his defense is going to shite. Atlanta's 2-7 in their last 9. They're allowing 27 a game in that span. They're allowing 363 yards per game in that span. I think both offenses go off. So have I played that elsewhere over the 47.5, 48.5? I have. For these purposes there. Let's stay in that game. Michael Wilson is going off, and nobody's talking about it. I guess because Arizona is going down, the pooper. But, Beltway Ben, this is this kid's last 3 home games. 11 catches, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. 10 catches, 118 yards. 15 for 185. I like him for 70 plus here and an anytime touchdown plus 350. There's only 4 wide receivers since 1970 who have had 3 straight home games of 10 catches or more and at least 115 yards. I think he could do it again. Atlanta's defense has been great against tight ends, which I like here. Only 2 passing touchdowns to tight ends all year. An 80.3 passer rating throwing to tight ends. They have as many interceptions on target to tight ends this year as touchdowns given up. So maybe they do the job on McBride a little bit. But this kid on the outside has been more than they even thought Harrison could be. Brissett loves throwing to him. Look, he hasn't got – he did have the 2 passing receptions in the last game, and he's got 3 in the last 2. But he hasn't been a huge touchdown scorer. So, but I think there's a ton of points in this game. I think Brissett loves taking explosive shots outside the red zone, and I just don't buy Atlanta's defense right now. So, Wilson, keep doing what you're doing, bro. 70 and an anytime touchdown plus 350. Speaking of plus 350s, how about Cam Ward, 2 passing touchdowns plus 320? Ben, I think Tennessee's winning this game. I think the Chiefs are playing for a draft pick. This is uncharted territory for the Chiefs. They're going to rest everybody. I think this is going to be treated as an exhibition game. And if you're Mike McCoy, interim coach of Tennessee, and all of a sudden Tennessee's been pretty good at home lately, and Ward has thrown 2 or more touchdowns in 2 straight games, how are they not? They're going to sell out to do it. Did they care about Pollard? Did they care about Pollard rushing touchdowns? No, man. They're going to sell out for this kid. That's how McCoy's going to get a job somewhere else. That's how the kid gets bought into the offseason. And guess what? The owner, she really wants to see this kid do something. This kid's behind Tyler Shuck in Rookie of the Year odds right now. Come on. And the Chiefs got nothing to play for. The Chiefs won a draft pick. You want to correlate this with Titans on the money line? I've done that too. But I know Spags, he's been great. They're calling off the dogs, dude. It's over. Kansas City's in a whole different spot than they've ever been in. I think Ward gets a chance to be force-fed here. Beltway Ben, you can find 14-1 out there on Cam Ward, 3 or more passing touchdowns. It's 14-1 at Bet365. I'm just saying. And then look, we're on the Knicks. Did we lay off because I'm back? I don't know what's going on. I guess because everybody's in the house.
You're back.
I got 5 people on their phones here or whatever, although that shouldn't matter.
Oh, looks like you're going out again.
For Ethernet.
You back? You're back.
Give me the Knicks laying 7.5. I expected them to fall off a little after the NBA Cup, and they did. Right? They barely beat the Pacers. Then they lost to Philadelphia, but they're back home. They've been amazing at home. 13-2 against the spread at home. 17-8 against the spread as a favorite. 10-3 against the spread their last 3. They haven't lost back-to-back games since Halloween. I don't think they're losing. And when they win, they generally win by double digits. 9 of their last 11 victories are by at least 9 points. Miami has fallen off a cliff after a hot start. They're 3-8 against the spread their last 11. They're bad defensively like they've been in the past, and the offense that was putting up 125s all over the place has disappeared. I think it's a get-right spot for the Knickerbockers, whatever. 7.5 minus 110. The mighty Bavarian Giants got the early goal we wanted. That thing, if you want to play that, if you want to play Bayern minus 3, I'm about to do that as soon as this show's over. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
We're already on the minus 2, but the problem had been them giving up goals to lesser teams in the first 30 minutes and then having to scramble. I think this one's. I think they score 5 goals in this match.
All right. For overtime, for me, we have a bunch of different plays, and a lot in the same game, and then we have one that we don't have typed in. I just came up with it while we were live, so I'll just say it
Nice,
as an
organic.
official play. Yes, absolutely. I just kind of crafted it up, just thinking about how I think these games go. We'll start here. Aldrich Estime over 12.5 receiving yards minus 110.
Like it.
Listen, when you look at the matchup here, what they are going to face and how the quarterback's been in Shuck, he likes to dump the ball off to the running backs a lot. The Jets are allowing more receiving yards to running backs than all but 4 teams over their last 7 weeks, and that's been a regular theme for them. Their defense is pretty good. They're good against running backs in the run game. Their wide receiver, they don't give up a lot to wide receivers. I mean, they're not a good football team, but their defense under Aaron Glenn has held their own. It's more their offense. That being said, Estime should get a lot of looks underneath. Go through the running back injuries that they've dealt with all year, and Estime is a guy that had some success in Denver. He was good at Notre Dame. We know all that. Peyton would have him on the field some big snaps early on in his career there, or early on in his time there. But no, I think that they're going to throw the football underneath a lot. And if he does catch 2 to 3 passes, which every RB1 is doing for the Saints over the last few weeks, he should get 12.5. I talk about it with running backs all the time. Don't like risking a -4 in the backfield, but the Jets have given up explosives. Like when you weigh it with yardage they're giving up compared to receptions, it shows that a lot of their receptions that they're giving up to running backs are big time plays, catches of 10 plus yards, screens that they get broken down and they can't figure it out. And ultimately, the running back ends up getting the first down on a 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, all those good things. So give me estimate over 12.5 receiving yards minus 110. Now we have a same game parlay for this game here. In the Lions and Steelers.
Yeah.
Jared Goff 225 plus, Aaron Rodgers 200 plus, DK Metcalf 40 plus receiving, and the over 51.5 plus 205. To me, if we see that over cash, it's meaning both of these quarterbacks are throwing the football out. And I think, quite honestly, the Lions can beat the Steelers so many different ways with their offense. But because their defense is so damn bad and their passing defense has been struggling, we're throwing in DK and Aaron Rodgers to get us a fair price at this over. Goff, he does this regularly, even when the running backs eat, which I think probably will be the case today. Even with Harmon back, what's the snap count for Derek Harmon? I'll be interested to see. I think Goff has a fine day throwing the football. Rodgers 200 plus. He's all over the place this year, but this Detroit Lions passing defense has been the worst in the NFL for a while. And in those weeks where like they feel aggressive with their passing game, they're fine saying, all right, Gainwell and Warren, we're going to use you in the passing game and you'll get a few carries here or there, but we know how to beat this team and how to keep up with them. To win this game, they're going to have to keep up throwing the football. If that's the case, DK Metcalf, they struggle against wide receivers. It's not just running backs or tight ends in this. No, they struggle against wide receiver ones. We've seen it all year, which is why I'm playing DK 40 plus, and then the over 51.5. I just think this is going to be both teams mid to high 20s, a lot of scoring. And I think it's going to be one of those, what can you do? I can do throwing the football. So I would like that to be an over game. And we have 2 props there. We have 2 props straight up that we're playing. I just gave out DK by itself. We're going to give out DK over 60.5 receiving at minus 110. Last week in that ugly weather game, was freezing cold, guys that want to catch the football, we still saw DK making some plays. And against the Ravens, it was his best game with the Steelers. That wasn't too long ago. They're getting more and more comfortable as the year goes on. And good thing here, we're playing indoors. We don't have to worry about the ugly weather here or the coldness or Rodgers taking some hits maybe there here and there in the cold and the risk being hurting a little bit more. No, we're going to be home here. And if Rodgers were to come out with an injury or something were to go wrong there, Rudolph, when he takes over, should know where to get the wide receiver 1 the ball. Now, MVS, Thielen, Rodgers trying to make him calling for those signings look good annoys me a little bit because he's going to keep going their way and try to pat himself on the back for that addition. But DK is still wide receiver 1. He's a guy that you can't avoid throwing the football to as QB1. Now, here's a play that I know I was just talking about all the passing I expect in this game. Jahmyr Gibbs is a speed back. Pittsburgh struggled against speed backs all damn year, even when Harmon plays. Harmon's going to play today. And if you look at the splits with him on the field and without him, it's night and day. It just is. But like the heavy back isn't going to do much, I don't think, in Montgomery. It should be the speed back with the cutting. We saw it with James Cook. We saw it with Key Mitchell. We've seen it with a lot of these backs. I think we could see Jahmyr Gibbs go for 100 plus, but we'll take him down to 70 plus and pay some juice for it because, again, on NFL Sunday, I don't want to lose my my bet on the 100 plus and lose just by a few yards. So again, we'll take that down. Last play. the play that we're giving
Shout
out.
out Mayor and Mayor. Did you hear my
Yes,
washing?
I did hear the washer. I heard the music in the back and was a little confused at first, but
It's a big laundry day. Sunday is big, a lot of laundry. Everybody home from college, a lot of laundry.
oh, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. We will give out this again for the listeners. It's nothing changed. For the viewers, I will just say it. Evan Ingram, 2+ receptions. Isaiah Likely, 25+ receiving yards. And Jake Ferguson, 20+ receiving yards, plus 166. Again, Ingram, 2+ receptions. Likely, 25 receiving yards. Ferguson, 20+ receiving yards, plus 166. I will also give out as an official play Isaiah Likely, 25+ receiving yards, which you can find right around minus 120. I think he's going to have a big night against the Patriots defense that has struggled a little bit against tight ends through the year. Even when their defense was as good as it's ever been, they struggled against tight ends, and that's been a consistent theme for them throughout the season. For this one, I mean, Fergie against the Chargers, like the one area where the Chargers have struggled over the past few weeks is tight ends. Tight ends have gone over this number in like 5 straight or 6 straight. It's been regular. Fergie is a reliable target for Dak. I think he gets him the ball 3 to 4 times, and if that's the case, 20+ yards is no issue. He catches 10+ yard receptions regularly. Isaiah Likely, 0 yards last week against the Bengals, but they completed just 8 passes. It was just not throwing the football much.
It was
And
a joke.
could they rely on
Joe
the run
Burrow,
heavy tonight?
Thanks.
Could they rely on the heavy tonight? Maybe. I think they probably will. I think they'll have success with it with Milton Williams out. But still, Isaiah Likely has that explosive play. He has the jailbroken play where Lamar turns, nothing into something. And in those spots, Isaiah Likely has been a guy that's been able to eat. If Lamar is as healthy as we think that he's getting and looks like his normal self, one of those jailbreak plays is due tonight, especially primetime under the lights. He always seems to turn it on when everybody's watching. I think we see Isaiah Likely 25+. And then Evan Ingram, talked about him before. 2 catches, even if they go 2 tight end screens and he gets 4 yards. We'll lose the other play, but this one will cash. So again, Ingram 2+ receptions. Isaiah Likely 25+ receiving yards. Jake Ferguson 20+ receiving yards, plus 166. And Isaiah Likely 25+ receiving yards, minus 120.
Interesting. I'm just seeing if I'm going to do anything on Bayern. If I do anything, I'll do it at the half. That's our show. Beltway Ben, let everybody know how we've done since we launched this. Today's the 21st, so that's exactly 7 months ago. Right? May 21st, December 21st. There you go. Damn, dude. Bournemouth Cherries hold on to that lead, and we're pushing 20 units up. But that's when you're doing as much volume as we're doing, and when you're not playing a bunch of minus 255s on the money line, and I really like this guy to catch 2 balls minus 355. There's a lot of that shite out there. A lot of people peddling that. We're trying to we're trying to do a little better than that for you, and think a little more stringently and smartly about what these markets are really providing. So that's our show. Beltway Ben, are we thinking? I do have to do bet sweats one more time. So like 10:15 tomorrow. Is that the norm? Is that good for you?
Yep.
There's a college. Have you looked at the college basketball slate? There's a lot of noons and 1 o'clocks and stuff. It's only Monday and Tuesday, and then everybody shuts
Because of
down
the holiday.
for Christmas. Yeah. But there's games all day Monday and Tuesday.
Yep.
We definitely have a Premiership game we're going to be on tomorrow. We've got Monday Night Football. Our Tulsa Golden Hurricane are playing tomorrow. Love those crazy guys. We're going to be on them. Tune in tomorrow to find out how. Wish you guys all the best. Happy holidays. Happy betting. You want to bet. We want to bet. We sincerely thank you for wanting to bet with us. And we're down to just a little over 2 months. Leonard Cole turns 18. He's fair game.